So our last video here, we are going to graph transformations with a given graph. That's technically not a function equation. Again, I know you would just graph it in a calculator. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to interpret what's the transformation. So inside the parentheses are on the inside. Everything outside the parentheses is your outside. Changing of your x's with an opposite effect. Changing of your y's for face value. So here what we want to do is go to the graph, identify your points, and apply your transformations of the graphs that you're given. So here with the x minus 2 on the inside, the first thing I'm going to do is set that equal to 0, solve it for x. We're going to go to the right 2 first. And then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 3. Then I'm going to move all the points up 3. So here's my graph. We're going to take these points and we're going to go 2 to the right. There's 2 to the right, and then up 3. And there's my new graph. Each point, 2 to the right, up 3. 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 There's my graph. All right, second function, we'll do this one in blue. So here inside, we have a negative being multiplied to my x. So that means I got to go from positive x's to negative x's. That's flipping over the y-axis. Minus 5 on the outside. Then we're going to go down 5. There's my 2 transformations. And I promise you'll never do more than 2 transformations on a graph. It's just too messy. So all those points are going to get flipped over the x-axis. So let's see that again. All the points, 3 to the left will be 3 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. And there's my segment over there flipped over. And then we're going to go down 5. So every point is going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There they're going down, right to there. Whoops, come back here. Why are you going so fast? Down 5. It took me a long time to get that thing to shift perfect. I want to see it happen. There's my final location. There's my answer. So on the test, when you do a problem like this, write down what your transformations are doing in the order that you want them to go. Who's first, who's second. And then perform that to each point, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grade this by looking at what you put here and then how you made the changes on the graph. Next, same graph, negative 3 being multiplied to my function. So here, we could say, well, we're going to have to change our y's from positive to negative. That's a flip over the x-axis. And then we're going to take the 3 and say, okay, that's greater than 1. That's going to be a vertical stretch. And we could do all these individual transformations. Or, because both of them are working with multiplying, we could say a quicker way is just to take all the y coordinates and multiply them by a negative 3. So at negative 3, 2, 2 times negative 3, negative 6. Negative 3, negative 6. Next point, negative 1, 1. Take that 1, multiply it by negative 3. Negative 1, negative 3. And we'll be connecting them in this order. This point is at 1, negative 1. Negative 1 times 3 is a positive 3. 1, 3. This point's at 3, negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 3, positive 3. 3, 3. Connect those together in order, and there's my graph. Our next example, 1/2 times x. So again, inside the function is an opposite effect. We could say, we're multiplying by a half, so this is going to be a horizontal stretch. It's inside the function. All right, it's going to change your x's, so that's horizontally changing. 1/2 is somewhere between 0 and 1. So that's a horizontal stretch. Or you could just say take all your x coordinates and divide them by a half, or multiply by its reciprocal, multiply by 2. All right, so starting with this x at negative 3, 2. Negative 3 times 2, negative 6, comma 2. There's my point. Next point's negative 1, 1. Take the negative 1 on the x, multiply it by 2. That's going to go to negative 2, 1. This 1, negative 1, x-coordinate 1, multiplied by 2, goes to 2, negative 1. This point with an x-coordinate of 3 is going to go to 6. 3 times 2 is 6, negative 1. Connect your blue dots in order. There's your graph. Next example, f of x equals negative 2x. Again, on the inside, we'll do the same thing we did here. Instead of multiplying all your x's by a negative 2, I'm going to divide them all by a negative 2. And that will get the job done quicker. So you could describe, oh, it's a negative on my 2, so I have to flip it over the y-axis. And you could flip it. And then you can say, well, it's going to be a horizontal shrink, so I'm going to divide all the x-coordinates by 2. Well, if you're going to do this division, why not just divide by negative 2 and get everything done at once? So again, looking at my points, take my x-coordinate of negative 3, divide it by negative 2. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 is 1.5, and the y-coordinate of 2 doesn't change. Negative 1 comma 1, divide negative 1 by negative 2, that's 1/2 or 0.5 comma 1. Again, y-coordinate didn't change. Here we're at 1, negative 1. Take the 1 divided by negative 2, that's going to put me at negative 1/2 or negative 0.5 comma negative 1. Y-coordinate isn't changing. 3, negative 1. Take the 3 divided by negative 2 is negative 3/2 or negative 1.5, comma, negative 1. The y-coordinate didn't change. Connect your red dots up in the order in which you change them. And there's your graph. All right, next example. Y equals 2 times f of x plus 3. All right, so I erased what we had here before. Just leave it. I know we're sharing the graphs in your notes, but it shouldn't be in the way. So here inside x plus 3, set it equal to 0. That means everything's going to the left 3. X equals a negative 3. The 2 on the outside means you're going to double all your y coordinates. So we're going to multiply 2 to every y coordinate. So here I have my points listed, and now we're going to go make the changes. All right, so everybody's got to go to the left 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's the move. So basically I took negative 3, minus 3, negative 6. Negative 1, minus 3 to negative 4. 1, minus 3. Oh, my points moved away here a little bit. Negative 2, 1. And my 3, subtracted a 3 and put it at 0. So these are my new points. Next, I'm going to take all these blue points, the y-coordinates, and I'm going to multiply them by 2. So this 2 is going to get multiplied by a 2, and that's now negative 6, comma 4. The y-coordinate changes to a 4. This y-coordinate of 1 multiplied by 2 is going to become negative 4, 2. This y-coordinate of negative 1 is going to get multiplied by 2. It's now going to become negative 2, negative 2. This y-coordinate of negative 1 gets multiplied by 2. We're now at 0, negative 2. And then you connect them in the order in which you were changing these. And there's my graph.